Isagi Yoichi has done plenty of work in these recent few chapters, so now it's time for Nagi and Ryo to get to that bag. The FC Bartra and Munchen match are officially shown, and on top of that, you will not believe who Blue Lock's number 1 is. What's going on, everyone? My name is Animasu, and today we'll be taking a look at the Blue Lock chapter 295 leaks, titled Number 1. If you enjoy staying up to date with this series, or just want to support my channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button and drop a comment below with your thoughts. My community Discord is also linked in the description, so feel free to join up and say hello to me and everyone else awesome in there. With that said, let's hop right into this week's insane leaks. Today's chapter kicks off with the usual intro text which states, "The meeting with Ryo that changed everything. Two of them took on the world." The scene immediately shifts to a flashback of that fateful moment, the exact point where Nagi and Ryo's fates collide into one. We see him effortlessly trapping his phone midair, the iconic moment when he first caught Ryo's attention. This was the spark, the beginning of a partnership that would shape their journey up until now. The perspective shifts to Nagi Seishiro's inner thoughts, reflecting on everything he and Ryo have endured together. The fire, the frustrations, the sorries and thank yous. These moments define their journey, the highs and lows that shaped them as players and friends. Through it all, Nagi overcame the obstacles and was able to defeat Isagi in that one fleeting moment, scoring his wonder goal versus Bayern Munich. But now, standing at this crossroad, he knows that one fleeting moment is not enough. If he wants to go beyond, if he wants to truly become the world's best, then he must change. Flashes of two key moments appear, times when Nagi turned to Ryo for help, for advice, for the will to improve. But now the realization sinks in. If he cannot sustain himself, if he always relies on others to push him forward, then he'll never reach the top. The match between FC Bartra and Munchen City then officially kicks off with a double spread for pages 4 and 5. Nagi understands the stakes. If he can't lock in, if he doesn't prove himself here, then this will be the end for both him and Ryo. Wasting no time, Nagi initiates the play, passing the ball towards Ryo. Instead of setting up the attack, Ryo quickly shuts him down and tells him to sit this one out. Chikari Hyoma, meanwhile, is already tearing up the wing, ready to take control of the game himself. As Ryo advances towards the defender, he smoothly plays the ball beyond him, maintaining the attack. From his perspective, he sees this match as the worst possible situation for both him and Nagi. With Nagi sitting at 11th place and Ryo down at 16th, they're dangerously close to being cut. If they don't raise their value, if they don't appear to the major clubs watching, their futures in Blue Lock are on the line. Because of this, their approach has shifted entirely. Rather than playing for individual goals or ego-driven moments, they seem to be prioritizing teamwork and a structured play, a complete deviation from their normally selfish actions. As Nagi leaps into the air, his body fully extending to redirect Ryo's pass with a precise header, the strategy behind their play becomes clear. Instead of blindly chasing individual glory, they're focusing on effective plays that directly contribute to their team's victory. The striker egos haven't disappeared though, as they will still take their shot when the opportunity is clear. Right now though, it's not about highlights or personal achievements, it's about survival. They must bet everything on their existence and their future, or risk losing everything they've built. The next double spread captures the seamless execution of their plan. Nagi's header redirects the ball perfectly, setting up Ryo for the next move. Without hesitation, Ryo follows up with an elegant backheel pass, threading the ball into the perfect position. The pass lands at the feet of Chikari Hyoma, who's already accelerating. Fully locked into his 44 Panther zone, he needs no extra touches. His foot meets the ball in stride, and with a lightning-fast strike, he blasts it into the net. Munchen has scored an incredible opening goal thanks to the precision and teamwork of Nagi, Ryo, and Chikari combined. As Chikari and Ryo celebrate their amazing goal, Nagi seems to be very intrigued as this next play seems to revolve all around him. Now that they've gotten a point onto the board where both players contributed, I wonder if Nagi will now be let loose to go for the kill. Sadly, just as we're about to see what's next for Nagi and Ryo, the leaks suddenly flash back to the present. The scene shifts to Bayern Munich and the PXG players, still standing on the field, their match having just concluded. Above them, the massive monitor lights up, and Igo Jinpachi's voice booms across the stadium. The moment everyone has been waiting for is here. The final salary rankings are about to be revealed. As the massive monitor flickers to life, Igo Jinpachi's voice fills the stadium. With his usual smug confidence, he congratulates Bayern Munich on their total victory in the new EGOIST League. They dominated every match, securing a flawless record to prove themselves as the strongest team in this experiment. But that's not the only match that's ended. Igo reveals that the final game between England's Munchen City and Spain's FC Bartra has also concluded in the present. With every match now officially over, there's only one thing left to do. The final salary rankings and bid prices are about to be unveiled, deciding the fate of each player and determining who truly stands at the top. The screen looms over the field, but Isagi Yoichi isn't celebrating yet. His expression is completely zoned out, sweat dripping down his face as he stares up, locked in on the moment that will decide everything. Going into this match, the gap between him and itoshi was nearly 50 million. The difference was staggering, but he put everything on the line. Every ounce of ego, his evolution, his sheer hunger to surpass Reed and Kaiser. Now with the rankings about to be revealed, the question remains, did he do enough? Ego continues on speaking, reiterating what was already known. The top 23 players will represent Japan in the U20 World Cup. This is the stage they've all been fighting for, the opportunity to prove themselves against the world's best. But for Isagi Yoichi, none of that matters right now. His mind is focused on one thing and one thing only, seeing his name at the very top. Every play, every goal, every gamble he took in this match was for this exact moment. And then, the screen shifts. The highest offer, the value of Blue Lock's number 1. The moment of truth arrives. The highest bid flashes onto the screen, itoshi valued at 240 million yen. As the Blue Lock rankings begin to populate on the monitor, reality sinks in. Rin has reclaimed the number 1 spot. Despite everything, despite Isagi putting everything on the line, Rin still stands above him. But what's even more shocking is where the offer is coming from. Listed beside his name is the club that made the bid, Spain's super team, Real Madrid. This is where his brother Itoshi Sai went to play for their youth team, so honestly, this could set up some very crazy storylines for the future and us learning about Sai. Isagi, however, stands frozen in disbelief, completely shrouded in darkness. The weight of the moment crushes down on him. Even after everything and giving his all, he still hasn't reached Itoshi Rin's level. He clenches his fist, his teeth sinking into his lip, frustration boiling. Rin, however, stands at the opposite end, staring up at the screen with the calmest expression we've ever seen from him. No arrogance, no anger, just quiet confidence. He's done what he needed to do, and he's number 1. For Isagi, this feels like an undeniable truth. No matter how hard he fights, he's still always one step behind. Just as Isagi continues to drown in his frustration though, the tension shatters with a sudden shoulder check from Rin. Without looking back, Itoshi Rin tells him to lift his head and look closer. Still caught in disbelief, Isagi does a double take. His eyes snap back to the rankings, and that's when he sees it. His own name, Isagi Yoichi, right beside Rin's. The number 1 sits next to both of them. Isagi Yoichi has also received a 240 million yen bid. The world is not finished with them yet. Their rivalry, the battle between light and shadow, logic and instinct, is far from over. The top bid wasn't just about one player, but rather their rivalry and pushing each other beyond their limits. More than that, Isagi's bid is coming from the current NEL club he resides at, Germany's Bastion Munich. Could this mean that Noah, the world's number 1 striker, wants to continue monitoring his growth personally? Either way, the world has made it clear that their battle for dominance is not over, but rather just beginning. Isagi remains frozen in absolute shock, his mind struggling to process what just happened. The announcers even scream out in disbelief, their voices echoing through the stadium. Nobody could have predicted this outcome. 2 players at the top, 2 bids of equal value. The rivalry between Isagi and Rin has officially been recognized by the world. On top of that, Yohiri and Yukimiya are grinning ear to ear, filled with nothing but pride for their boy. Igarashi, on the other hand, is full on sobbing, literal tears of disbelief and joy streaming down his face. No one expected this, not even Isagi himself, but the proof is right there on the screen. He's finally made it. A huge grin spreads across his face as he finally basks in the glory of becoming number 1. It may not be a complete victory, he's still sharing the spotlight with Rin, and the 2 of them are standing side by side, but that does not matter right now. His plan worked. By selling his soul for the sake of a goal, by embracing pure logic and ego, he's achieved greatness and secured victory beyond anything he's ever seen before. The last page of today's leaks deliver an absolutely hype moment. Isagi Yoichi roars out in pure excitement, his voice echoing through the stadium. His energy is uncontainable, his emotions spilling over as he bangs on his chest, fully embracing the moment. With that, the final verdict is set. Both Itoshi Rin and Isagi Yoichi stand as Blue Lock's number 1 egoist. Their battle isn't over, but for now, they reign supreme. As usual, we get some outro text which states, the roar that echoes to the world. The joy and ego of being number 1 runs through his body. But that's sadly wrapping up today's chapter. All that we're left with until next week is the upcoming chapter 296 title, BRAINJUICE Experience. Personally, I think this might shift the focus back to the Munchen City vs FC Bartra match, especially since this title heavily reminds me of something Bachiller once said. He previously mentioned ego juices in a past chapter, so this could either be a slight mistranslation or directly tie into what's about to unfold in the game. Either way, let me know what you all thought of today's chapter. Drop your theories and expectations for what you think will happen next, because I know everybody is super hyped, super disappointed, like you gotta be feeling something from these leaks. If you enjoy staying up to date with Blue Lock though, or just want to support my channel, please take a moment to click that subscribe button and drop a comment down below. I really appreciate all the support y'all show me, and fun fact, I actually have a community Discord you can join, link down in the description. Feel free to join up and say hello with me, talk with me and many others, you know, it's a vibe. I hope you all have an amazing day, and with that ending off today's leak coverage, I'll see you guys next time.